So we'll not be airing on IG today, on Facebook. Okay? So welcome to the waiting room, everyone. Say hi if you're here already. Whoa, Father, we thank you for our special episode. Thanks for your son, Johnny A. Now that you're going to use today mightily. Father, we thank you for your children, even as we have gathered on your table, oh God. Open our ears to hear what you have for us today, oh God. As your son speaks today, oh God, it will inspire people. His story give hope, oh God, to the hopeless. Father, we thank you. As he speaks, oh God, he will minister healing to your people. We give you all the glory that everything we learn today, oh God, we use to move our lives forward. In Jesus' mighty name we pray. Amen. You're welcome to the waiting room special episode with Johnny Enna. Johnny Enna is a brother, he's a friend, it's been a long time coming, and I know him. The man of faith is um, the co-founder of Plenty Waka. So we're going to hear his story today and the untold story of this young man. He had a career from the banking industry, and right now he's doing well in business. But before he got there, he faced a lot of challenges. And here we are today. And one thing I always say to people is that um, as we wake up in the morning, that's what I do. We wake up in the morning, we pray to God and tell you, Father, whatever challenge is coming my way today, give me the ability to face them. As we are alive, we definitely face challenges. That's the truth. You understand? So he's not as if everything is rosy and like it's up there, but he's tackling his challenges as he meets them daily in his life. So, bro, Ina, you're welcome to the Waiting
Thank you.
Special. You're welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
We had
It's nice being
a
here.
beautiful episode too. We'll have the beautiful episode with Lillian. We had a beautiful episode with Lillian Emefiele where she interviewed me. I hope you learned a thing or two. Thank you, Lillian, for last week. Thank you so much for being the co-host, and you did it excellently well. So, and I can't see my guests, so are people joining? I need to see. So you're welcome. If you're joining for the first time, this is the waiting room. So we meet here every Sunday at 7 to share life experiences, that moves our life forward daily. We get inspiring stories from the Bible, from people, from real life stories to ensure that we're ready for the week. So that's what we do here to inspire, you know. So you're welcome. So let's go to our guest, Brother Ena Gordon.
Yeah.
Yes, a lot of people are anticipating to hear from you, you know.
Okay.
This plenty waka guy, you know, a lot of people are calling, oh, this plenty waka guy, we want to hear him, we want to hear him. Okay, so they are here, ready to hear from you. So tell us about a
Okay.
bit about your growing up. And so I'm going to ask you three questions before you go to succeeding in trying time. That's the title for this episode. This is definitely a trying time for a lot of us, me inclusive. If you are in business, this is a trying time for you. If you are a career person, the year 2020 is a trying time for everybody. So here we are. How do we sail this ship? So tell us about yourself, your growing up, and the challenges you faced as a child growing up. You know, I'm privy to some of this story, but I know that there's some that you might reveal this evening. So over to you, bro. And tell us about yourself, challenges growing up.
Okay. So first and foremost, I want to thank you for the privilege to be here. I've actually been following my waiting room for a couple of what's it called? I've followed a couple of episodes, and they've been really been very very exciting. So thank you to what you're doing, and I know this is the beginning, and I mean there is a whole lot ahead of us that you'll be amazed that the studio might look like this, but tomorrow you discover that you're using a full community for a studio right now. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know, so that
Amen,
that's
amen,
like
amen.
that's how it begins. So I want to thank you guys for this opportunity, the crew members and all of that. I just want to thank all of you for this opportunity. Yes, people see my round face today. They said the boy don't hammer, as in maybe the guy didn't even go through um, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the deadly. I always use that statement because every point in life, there are points in our life that we have gone through, the good times, the bad times, the ugliest times, and even the deadliest times. You understand what I'm trying to say? While growing up as a child, I was born into a family of 27 kids, and when I was at that period of my life. I was used to sharing things with every other kids. I didn't grow up as a kid that had my toys. I didn't grow up as a kid that had my own belongings. You have to share with every other person that are your siblings, and that was pretty much tough for me. It was a family. Yes, my father was and did his best to cater for us. But again, we were in a home whereby it was survival of the fittest, and only the only the ones that are fit will have to go through that trying times that we were at that period. So basically, I'm from Delta State. I was born in Ugeli, from Ugeli North in Delta State, and prior to my before my sorry. So when Hello, can you hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, I can hear
Good.
you.
No, so my growing up was, I can hear a bit of echo. That was what I was even asking. So my growing up was surrounded with all of these people, which helped me to become better. But however, in all that I was doing as a young boy growing up then, there was something that was paramount to me. There was an aspiration that I had in me that I want to what at best my I want to succeed, one, and two, I want to become that person that everyone will want to look up to. So even though I was born into a surrounding that limited me as regards how we're doing things, but I was always seeing ahead to say, okay, what can we do differently? How do you get to this level where you now become the so-called superstar? So for me as a young boy, I just wanted to become a superstar, whether with what I was doing then, as regard church, as regard my schooling and everything. I just wanted to become that superstar that will be doing great things that people can always look up to. That was basically it for me.
Okay, okay, okay. Um, I also knew at that time too, we were neighbors, remember that
Yeah,
you were living
yeah,
with your uncle, of course,
yeah,
trying times, and
yeah,
also you were able to,
yeah.
succeed and then surmount those issues. Okay, so what biggest career or business challenge almost took you down? And I'm asking this
Mm.
question that because I knew that I'm privy to some information. And how did you get out of it? Because right now, a lot of people are in some kind of dilemma, Should we
Yeah,
continue? How can we continue after COVID? They don't, a lot of people are in the waiting room, so to speak.
yeah.
They don't know what to do. They are just
Mm.
waiting on God. So what next? So what next? So how did you, what are the major steps you took to arise again? So it's a two-in-one question. Biggest challenges and how did you get out
Mm.
of those challenges?
So before the biggest challenges for me, I've had to, as a young boy, because I was always aspiring um, to succeed in whatever I was doing. So at when I finished my NYSC, I got a job immediately. All right, and I got a banking job, and I rose the flanks of my banking career to a senior manager level at that time, and I resigned from banking. All things all were rosy for me. I was getting everything on a platter of gold then, and I felt okay. I've acquired enough. I've known enough. Okay, it's now time to go become an entrepreneur. And I deliberately resigned from my place of work, that which I thought was all right, but that would be another story for young entrepreneurs that just wants to, for people who just want to go into entrepreneur when they are not even ready for it yet. So I resigned. When I resigned, I said, okay, I needed to go into agriculture. So for me as a young guy, also, when I was growing up, I've always learned how to try how I can do something new as a business, and also something that has never been done before. I always think in that direction. That was what was keeping me going. So at that point, I said, okay, I needed to go into fish farming and also a milling company, set up a milling company. And when I set up that milling company, I decided to say, okay, let me set up this milling company in Delta State. When I did that, I thought that was going to be the breakthrough to that greatness I was looking for. All the money I have saved in my banking career, I have to plunge everything into that business. I have to bring equipment all the way from China to set up this milling company. And as at that time in Delta State, there was nobody producing floating fish feeds in Delta State. I have to put everything into that business. And that was the beginning of sorrow for me, that I thought was the beginning of my greatness. When I set up that business, the first mistake I made was that one, I'm a very kind-hearted person. I wanted to help my people. That was why I actually moved the business back home. So to also empower the youth and empower people at home. But when I did that, I wasn't too close to the business. That is the first error. And because of that, the business, from one story led to another, because we cannot even finish that in 1 hour, the business went down the drain. And when that business went down the drain, it hit the rocks and everything went sour. At that point, it became so bad, because coming from a point whereby you were earning close to 2 million in a monthly as your net take home, and all of a sudden you are no longer earning anything again. It became really terrible. And at that point, it got to a point in the business whereby I started owing, going into debt. I started selling equipment. Things became so granted to the point whereby I couldn't. It was like somebody was directly after my life. Like, this is where you are going to perish. And I was like, hey, how do I get out of this? And it became so worse to the extent that at some point I became a laughing scorn. As in, people started laughing at me that, okay, let us see whether how you're going to be driving all these your BB cars, and all of that. I'm trying to say. And it was like that, like, okay, so it got to a point I was praying to God. God, what's the next thing? That is when I started seeing all sort of people coming to meet me. This is coming from here, this is coming from there. So at some point, I just want to seek the face of God. And that was when God told me that I need to move on. And that's what I'm going to be telling people here today. There are points whereby people get so stuck with one thing that is failing over and over and over again, and you just get so
Yes.
stuck to your past. You don't want to move on. See, I always tell people Isaac dug 5 wells. He dug the first one, people were jealous of him. Dug the second one,
Yes.
people were people were quarreling with him, until he dug the fourth one, where he found room, and he named that place Rehoboth. But after he got a place where it looks like I have achieved, he still moved on to another room, another well where he dug, and he called that place Sheba. That's the place of restoration. You know what I'm trying to say? So when we get stuck to things that are holding us back, and we don't want to let go, we will keep on being stuck there. There's a saying that we usually say when we're growing up, and my father used to say, he said, Ogoro they jump, you know, they jump go back, they jump go front. When Ogoro jump, a frog, when a frog leaps, it leaps forward. You have to learn how to fail forward. Even when you fail, you have to fail forward. I left that business at that point, and I decided to move from that business, sold all the equipment. The business where even a generator I bought brand new was not working. It was work today, it won't work tomorrow. I gave the generator out to someone. Since the last 7 years that I sold that generator into to someone, that generator has never had an issue. You get what I'm trying to say?
It has
So
never
it
had
was
an
obvious
issue.
it has never
I
had an
also
issue.
say the village people followed you. Village people followed you.
The
Yes, yes,
generator has never the generator never had an issue, and today the generator is still working. But at some point, when God just told me I need to move on, I need to just move on, I sold everything, and that was why I moved back. I came back to Lagos, and I asked God, what is the next thing? Yes, things were very bad at some point. I couldn't pay my children's school fees. I was home training my kids for months because they couldn't go to school. But that didn't stop me. I kept on thinking, what is the next plan? You know, until God told me categorically what I need to do differently. And that was how I started Keke Mara business.
Wait, bros. Wait, hold it here because there are some things
Okay.
I need people to pick. You went back to
Okay.
God, right? Because our people, we
Yes.
don't pray. We always look for people that come and see visions for us and confuse our life. You went back to
Yeah.
God and you asked
Yeah.
God, and God directed you
Yeah.
what to do. Good,
Yeah.
fine,
Yeah.
fantastic. Continue.
You know, so when I started studying the scripture, you know, when I started seeing things come upon me, and I will show you great and mighty things which you do not know, I will give you greater initiatives, I will give you answers. God categorically told me to go into transportation. At that point, when I got that idea of transportation, I didn't have a dime on me. I didn't have a dime. I didn't even know how I was going to start. Things were so bad that because of my size, when people see me outside, they don't even know what I'm going through. They just say, "Ah, this bros, you don't hammer us." You know, it was, so
They
it
say you
was
were
bad.
going
It
through
was
stuff.
even, yeah, people didn't even know. When I meet people sometimes to give me something, they'll say, "Ah, bros, now, how can you be begging me? You now, you don't need money now." That's because of my size. But I was happy, and I thank God for that. So again, sometimes words are very powerful. When people see you and they tell you you're a big boy, claim it. I'm a big boy. When you say, "Ah, you look like a
Yeah.
millionaire," claim it. I'm a millionaire. Don't say, "Ah, no, now, don't stop cajoling me." No, don't do that. So at that point, I didn't have what's it called, money to even start that business. But I went back to my pension to see what I can raise out of it, and that was when I raised some money from my pension to buy the first Keke Mara. I started the first Keke Mara. When I started the first Keke Mara, uh, Joyce, at that point, in a week, I can't boast of 2,000 naira. I cannot boast of 2,000 naira then. When I started Keke
How
Mara,
many keke Mara did you buy? So
I'm going
for
there.
people
So
that
when I
don't know what keke is
yeah,
what do you call it?
Keke Mara. So yeah,
Tricycle.
so is the name is tricycle or rickshaw. You understand? So I'm using Keke Napep now because that's the popular name people actually know now. So I got this Keke Mara. When I got this Keke Mara, immediately I discovered that the Keke Mara was giving me 25,000 naira every month. When I got that mathematics, I said, okay, if you can, sorry, it gives me 25,000 naira every week. And I said, okay, if it gives me this every week, that means in a month, I'm going to be getting this. Immediately, I plotted the numbers. I did the mathematics. I said, oh, so if I get 10, it is this. If I get 20, it is this. So how do I move? How do I move from one?
You calculate the profit before you start the business.
Exactly. Because yes. But again, for people who are also going business, who are also going to be going into business, when you before you go into any business, you need to also know where your revenue is coming from. Identify your revenue and also know your profit margins. It is very, very important. When I did that mathematics and I discovered that this this is what I'm going to be making, immediately what can I do to I started doing my strategy on how I can move from one keke to 10, from 10 to even 100, from 100 to 200, from 200 to 1000 keke. Those were the mathematics. I said, if I make 100 million in every month, that is possible. Who says it's not possible? I need to go for it. And that was how I started. From one keke, I was using a Highlander then. I sold my Highlander, Toyota Highlander, sold it, and I went to buy two more keke, making it three. So when I did three, I started saving with the people that were selling to me. I was able to save, I think, money to buy two more. That made it five. So from five, I started running there. I started going. I now opened up my social media handle, put Keke there, started marketing it. Even when I didn't have money, I started from somewhere. People were what's it called um, um, coming on board to like express their interest to say, okay, how do you now manage Keke for me? So we started telling people you can actually earn this to now make also percentage on your Keke. My dear sister, that was how we started. From one angel investor to two to three, from one keke to cut the long
So
story
let me
short.
ask you a question, sir. Let me ask you a question,
Yeah,
sir. So the keke, is it that people buy keke and bring to the business, or have you bought keke with your money?
yeah. So initially, I started buying keke with my money, but later on, I discovered that okay, I can actually do this full time as a full time job, manage keke for people that don't have the time to put keke on the platform. And that was how I started marketing keke and talking to people about it. People now started giving me money to buy keke. I was now paying them weekly. Some I was paying monthly. From one keke, we did 285 kekes in Lagos State. 285 keke, 85
Oh,
kekes
285.
in Lagos State. Yeah. And I was managing these operators. It was from that keke, and I said, So again, when I was doing keke business, I didn't have peace of mind because there was one thing that came to me. I was like, this keke business, what am I even doing differently? Am I even doing something new? Or I'm not joining the bandwagons to do the crazy things everybody's doing. My spirit still didn't agree with it. I said, no, I need to do something different. I need to do what change can I bring? And that was how the idea,
Hold it there. There's another question for your plenty waka. So
okay,
hold on. So through this, your transition from
mhm,
banking to business, that
yes,
transition,
yeah,
I know it's not easy for a lot of people. I know it's not easy for a lot of people because
yeah,
you're coming out of a well-paying job that is
yeah,
guaranteed at the end of the month. So
yeah,
uncertainty. I'm a businesswoman, so I understand the uncertainties of
mhm,
business. I understand.
yeah,
You know how much we projected this year, and right now look at us looking at
yeah,
COVID-19 that changed
yeah,
everything for everybody. So that
yeah.
that downtime. What did you do at that downtime when you were transiting to business?
It was a waiting period for me. It was a waiting period for me. I have to meet God to say, okay,
God to
what can I start
yeah,
doing?
yeah.
So
Mhm.
I went into a 21-day fast.
Mm.
I
Oh,
went into the 21-day
21.
fast, 21-day fast. Yeah, it was, and I went through that fast with my wife. It was during that fast that God actually gave us insight to what we're going to be doing next. And categorically, God told me in that fast, He said, you are going into another phase of your life right now. You are going to meet people that you will meet. There are some people you will meet that will seemingly look like your destiny helpers. They are not. Those people from the outlook, they look so big, they look well to do, they are not. And that was when he revealed to me that your destiny helper is going to be like that Joseph that was in the prison that now later became the governor. And he told me even at that verse that I need to start praying for that. He said at that time my destiny helper has not even started making money. We were in the same choir. When I
Oh
mean my
yes.
destiny helper, my
Yeah,
strategy.
I
No,
know.
let me
Oh,
tell
I
you the
know the
word.
story.
Like
I
a
know the story.
strategic
You will
partner.
get that. Yes. Yes.
Exactly. The strategic partner who was with me in the choir. Even what we see, he doesn't even have anything he's doing. We see each other, we sing, we
So
jump
at
on
this
stage.
junction, brother Edna, at this junction,
Yes,
I would want to encourage people. For me, I find purpose in church.
yeah,
Brother Edna here is my Christian brother. We also met in church, kind of. So he actually met his destiny helper, kind of, in
yes,
church. What
exactly.
are you doing with your time? Are you
Yeah,
serving
yeah,
God? A lot of things happen at that place of service. He was in the
yeah,
choir. The other guy was
yeah,
in the choir. See where they met.
yeah,
What if he was on the street walking on the road? He
yeah,
wouldn't
yeah,
accept that guy. So at this juncture,
yeah,
I really want to ensure or advise everybody, go and serve somewhere. You will need help at that place. Okay?
yeah.
So let me go quick to your next question, because I know your issue. How did you come about the idea? Plenty. It's a very innovative idea. It's fresh. This
Yeah,
idea cannot be really revealed by flesh and blood. Only
yeah.
the Spirit of God can reveal things like that. How do you come about that idea of plenty water? Maybe you can briefly talk about plenty water for those people not in Lagos, because I can see people from
Hello,
Kaduna. Hi, Tony from
hello,
Kaduna, and hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello?
hello.
Like you can't hear me. If you can hear us from Facebook, let's see your thumbs up if you can hear us. Like my guest is not as lost us.
Hello, hello. I can hear
Hello?
you.
I can hear
Can you hear
you. I
me?
can hear you. Okay. Yes,
Okay,
I
I
can
don't
hear
know what
you
happened. Yeah.
clearly. Okay. So, plenty waka. You can please briefly tell us what plenty waka is for those watching out of Lagos.
Okay, let me just. I was actually going there before, so it was from the Keke Mara business, and I was looking for how to do things differently. That I got the concept of plenty waka. So at that point, what I was doing there, I had this Sienna. So to hustle a bit, I used my Sienna in the morning to just move people, that are commuting from one place to another. I just use my Sienna to move them early in the morning to VI. So when I did that, that
So
was
the way
a,
you
I
are
said,
talking about, you did transport business, like you carry people, you drop people, you do
exactly,
driver work.
exactly,
So
exactly.
don't garnish it. You are garnishing it. I drive people and I hustle, carry people for road. Talk am as e be. Yeah, go ahead.
So at some point, I moved people. So when I tested it, I said, people were now like, Oga, why don't you put more buses on the road? I said, more buses. I said, okay. So again, the idea started coming. Okay, this is not a bad thing. Who is doing this right now? And what is happening right now? I discovered that many a times at different points in our lives, we have had awful experiences in just accessing the public transportation service, especially in Lagos State. And I said, okay, it won't be bad to come up with a more refined system, driving it with technology to now move people from point A to point B. At that point, as I was thinking it, I went to meet a friend of mine that we were doing this Keke Mart together. He said, immediately I mentioned it, the guy said, bros, that this is the way. We need to hit this one hard. The next question was that how are we going to do it? And who is doing it now? We searched, we discovered that some players were doing it remotely. We said, okay, no, we need to build technology. And that was how I started looking for strategic partners. And that was how the destiny partner, or the strategic partner I've been looking for, and I finally met him, that we now started doing and thinking through the whole process of launching Plenty Waka. And that was how we came up with the Plenty Waka concept. It's actually a bus selling concept that allow people to move from point A to B People can now, from the comfort of their home, now have access to now book their rides from the comfort of their home. You don't need to come to the junction anymore. Come to the junction anymore to be looking for buses, wait for bus with 20 other people. A bus comes, you don't know how many seats are on the bus, and everybody is rushing. You enter the bus in one piece, you are coming out in several pieces, or your phone is stolen, your laptop is
Okay,
stolen.
so
We came up with a
Wayne,
concept.
I'm hearing
Yeah.
that your video is paused. Somebody just said that they can only hear you, but maybe you should check your internet. Is it from
Oh, really?
everybody? Please let me hear comments. Can you see him? People watching, can you see him? Derek, Frank, Mr. Jerry, can you see him? Elohor, can you see him? Can you see our guest?
Can you see me
Can
now?
you can you see? Okay, I can see a thumbs up. Okay,
Okay.
okay, okay. Go ahead.
So we now came up with a concept because again, a lot of times we have had what's it called, people now go through these awful experiences. So in a bid to solve that need, so one, first and foremost, as an entrepreneur, we saw a need, and when we saw that need, we needed to provide a solution, and that was it. Came up to actually
The
attend
video is paused.
to the video is still paused.
Okay, two more people are saying we can hear, but we can't see. Okay, another person
Wow.
said yes, I can see. Another person, okay now, okay, I think they are fine now. They are fine now. Go ahead. They are
Okay, they
fine
can
now.
see me
Sorry
now.
about that.
Okay.
Technology.
Okay, no problem. So
All
that
right.
was how the plenty worker concept came about. And as we started, we have not looked back. We have come, we have continually, redeveloping the product, tweaking here and there. And today, a product that looks like a joke in the beginning, where people discourage us in the beginning, that
Oh yeah.
this space that you are going into. I remember when we were about to start, I think I called you like 3 months before we even started. I said, "Oh, this is what we are looking at it." People discouraged me. Some people I went to meet told me, don't go into that space. Oh. Have you heard of MC Oluomo? Have you heard of Tinubu? Have you Lagos State Hawks? Sharks, everything. You that just came into Lagos, you don't even know anybody. You want to come and do this kind of business in Lagos. I said, well, I serve a God that owns all the ideas.
Yeah.
That is a sovereign God, the one that will hold my back, the one that will stand me, the one that will show me the way, the one that will go ahead of me. So, my dear sister, that was how the blending workout started, and from day one till now, God has been the one taking us from one place to another, taking us people who didn't know about us. I, there was one money God said, just so before I started playing the workout, I've never been to Alausa before. I've never been to Alausa before. When I started playing the workout, God told me one morning, dress up and go to Ministry of Transportation. Immediately I went into an office, and that was how I met one guy. That guy started taking me to different people. I never knew him from anywhere, and he has been the one taking me from one place to another. And the business has been expanding. From what we are doing now, Abuja has called us. From the Minister of Transportation has called us in Abuja. The commissioner, the commissioner of transportation has called us in Port Harcourt. The minister of transportation in Ghana has called us. They've reached out to us. People are reaching out to us to come and launch the product.
Ghana.
Ghana, Ghana, we have gotten,
Whoa,
we have
whoa, whoa.
gotten we have gotten what's it called, Canadian immigration wrote to us. They need this same thing in Canada. We are getting endorsement from everywhere. People just calling in to come and launch the same product everywhere. At the beginning it looked like a joke, but the good thing about it is that God kept on telling me, if you said me, I'm noting something with God. He is a God that is creative. From day one he started creating. From day one, he created the heavens and the earth.
Yeah.
Okay, he said, what can we do differently? He created light. You understand? So if we serve a God that creates, we have to have a mind that's also creative.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Bring out the idea,
So,
shoot
Brother
it out.
we'll give you 20 minutes to talk about, this trying times for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And we'll end our talk, but at this middle point, succeeding in trying times. A lot of people are confused. A lot of people are in the waiting room. They don't know what to do. Those that know how to talk to God are waiting on God. A lot of people don't even know the next step. How do we succeed in Shrine as a businessman, as a career person? What do they need to? What are the steps you need to take to succeed in Shrine?
So first and foremost, I've come to understand that the spirit of innovation is the only thing that will drive survival in a trying period like pandemic and anything you're going to in life. That is the only thing that will drive survival. I have a problem with people say this is not working. So what have you done differently? Nothing. Come on. God created 6 different products in 6 days and rested on the 7 days. And after creating different products, he was still, looking those products to see how they can get better. He was expanding those products, how they can. It was expanding to different locations. What are you doing differently? Those are the many questions people need need, yeah, asking themselves. This trying period, what am I doing differently? Let me give you an instance. When we started Plenty Waka, we were doing so at some point. We were doing so well. In a day, we were moving over 3,000 riders on our platforms. In a day, 3,000 riders on our platform. We were getting those revenues were coming. We're tracking everything. And the pandemic struck. Boom. When the pandemic struck, everything ceased. All our all our revenue stopped coming. Monies were not coming again. Nobody was using our platform. At that point, we didn't fold our hands and say, "Hey, God, see, this business that has been growing, all of a sudden the pandemic has come now. We just sit back." At that point, we're like, "What are we going to do different?" We started. I told my team, my staff. I have about 27 staff in my team. I told them we need to see this pandemic as an opportunity, and at that point, and I told them we need to start seeing what can we do differently. So that was how the idea of moving essential workers, to essential goods and services now came into play. We're doing that remotely. We're not using technology. That thing, we saw the opportunity to now build a tech around there. That was how we now launched Logistic by Plenty Worker. During the COVID-19, during the pandemic, during the lockdown, we moved more goods during that period, not people now, more goods during that period. You saw what the pandemic has brought. He has brought more opportunities our way. Sometimes,
Yeah.
yeah, sometimes people, after launching LPP, we have launched Star Bus Solution, and we didn't call it Star Bus Solution, we call it ride with my click. And because we tagged it a ride with my click, we have more people subscribing to our staff bus today. We are now doing more of staff bus, so because of we adhering to the safety guidelines that the state government have actually put in place, and that's an opportunity itself, and that is also growing, exponentially right now. So when you are in a trying period like this, in a trying period, whatever be the trying thing you are going through, whether from you not having enough money, whether there's a pandemic, whether people frustrate you like they frustrated Isaac when he dug the first well, people were jealous of him. When he dug the second well, people were quarreling with him. Those were challenges, but he kept on digging until he got to a place of restoration. I always ask people, whenever you are going through a tight period of time, what is your desire? Desire is the only thing that will drive you to do things differently. That is hunger. What are you hungry for? If you don't have hunger in you, you can't succeed. You can't succeed. That's the if you don't have hunger. And I see a lot of people just lay back. Then what I come to the office, sometimes I just come to the office, I just tell you, hey, you come to my office. When people are coming to my office, they say, hey, because they know what I want to answer. What is the next level for Plenty Waka? What is the next level for you? I throw those questions at them to know if they are even ready. Those are the things we need to start asking ourselves is what can we do differently? This pandemic has brought enormous opportunities for a lot of people. It has also granted a lot of businesses. You know what I'm trying to say? But which side are you on? Are you on the part whereby you are seeing it to now try, or you are seeing it as a lockdown for you, that this is time that you are this is a time of lamentation, like the whole world is lamenting right now. So once you say, you will definitely hit it. And let me tell you something. Let me just tell the listener something here right now. You see, there's one thing that we need to do as individuals. One, when God created the heavens and the earth, all right, the Bible said the earth was without form, all right, and He created the heavens and the earth. It was without form. God saw that there is a need, and okay, first and foremost, you identify the problems, and what you now bring a solution. God now brought a solution after creating the heavens and the earth. The Bible also told us that the Spirit of God was hovering around the surface of the earth. You know what that means? Yes. What that means, also trying to, that is product development. So after you have created a product, of heavens and earth, after you have created a product of heaven and earth, you are now saying, okay, what can I do differently? And that was how he created light. You understand? The second day.
I can hear
Can you
you.
hear
I
me?
don't know. It's kind of breaking. So let's ask the viewers if they can hear you. It's kind of breaking. Please, if you can hear, can I see your thumbs up? Want to be sure that you guys are hearing our guest. If you can hear you, let's see. Welcome to the way through Kristen. I see you. Akiyemi Shehu, I see you. Can you hear Alvin? I can see you. Can you hear our guest? If you can hear our guest, let's see your thumbs up. But it looks like it's breaking from my end. So I want to be sure you're hearing him. Let's see your comments if you can hear him. So we continue. Marina, just hold on. Let's hear from our viewers. If they can hear you, then we continue. Hearing. Okay, Mama says she can hear you. Okay, so go ahead. Go ahead. Fire them. Fire them.
So one, so I've mentioned something, desire. Then two, how do you scale? Even if you have started something is not working. How do you now scale during this trying period? You now need to start looking at all of that to see, okay, what can you do differently? How do you scale? And in scaling has to do with, okay, where are you solving a need? Because the only thing that will scale your business is that you have a need that you are solving. Let me give you
Yeah.
a typical scenario. Let me give you a typical scenario. I walk into a shopping mall today, and you have 5 people, 10 people even, that are selling the same thing. And I ask myself the question: what what need are these people solving? I ask myself, or you walk into a mall, you see like 10
Same
what's it called,
product.
saloon, same products. What are you guys selling? People just going. I've discovered people just going to the business because they just want to generate one small income.
They want to leave the house. They just want to leave the house. I have
Exactly,
a
you just
business
want to
as
leave.
well. Yeah. They have
I
that.
have a business. And sometimes people sit in the business, they sit in the business, their business place for a whole day, nobody comes in. 1 week, nobody comes in. That should tell you alone that you are not solving a need.
Any
Because
from
if you are solving a need, people will come looking for you inside a hole because you are solving a
yes.
need. People will come looking for you inside the hole. So once you are going into, you see this period, these trying times, as an opportunity, and you now want to see the needs that you can actually solve during this time period, and start. If you do that, you won't struggle with business. If you do that, you will excel and you will scale faster. And that is what I want to advise everybody to do. But again, the bottom line, people need to go back to the drawing board. In my office today, there's a room where I call thinking outside the box. That is the room whereby we enter every Monday to brainstorm. The question we ask ourselves, and that is the question the people listening to media today should go back to their homes to ask themselves: what can I do differently? I
Yeah.
do differently.
What can I do differently?
Yes.
Can you
What can I
hear
do
me? Can
differently?
differently? Okay, 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 okay. Wow, 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 wow. What a session from our guests. If you're just joining, welcome. Ada, I see you. Babatunde, I see you. You're welcome. So I want to ask you a question that I developed from when you were talking. Okay. So in this, yes, we've seen all the buses all over Lagos, and looks like all is well. But I know that even in the business, you've had some trying times. So what's that biggest thing you have faced with Plenty One? Biggest challenge you have faced with the innovative idea, Plenty One, and how did you tackle it?
The biggest challenge I faced, one, is people challenge, how to get trusted people. So let me just give you an insight to when we started this business. We went to meet a particular, we met two people. One has been in the industry, but they weren't doing what we're doing. They probably were doing business to business kind of business, just moving. We now met this person, and this person told us that he wanted 50% stake of the business. We said, let's go ahead. But she came back to us and told us again, no, she's not interested, and she doesn't see this business succeeding. That was one. Secondly, we met the second person that told us that they want to collect 80% stake in the business. They weren't bringing money into this business, but they just wanted 80% stake in the business because of
They
their
want
expertise.
80%. 80%.
80%.
You'll be left
80%.
with 20%.
80%. You know,
Hmm.
my
Hmm.
partner then, this greed. You can't do business. My problem is not him even taking 80%, but the problem is that kind of person you're going to start fighting with in the future. So when we saw some of those things that happened during the initial play, we didn't trust people again anymore. At that point, we were discouraged. My partner was a bit discouraged, and I told him, you know what? We need to go into this thing. Two of us just need to go into these things about ourselves. But that was one thing that was a major challenge. We now have to start digging to look for who we can trust and that can also believe and have a buy-in into this business we want to start. And that was how we were able to get the people we even got, because I know a lot of some people that are on this were formerly singers or they're still singing. All right, so there's this whole concept of when you're a church choir boy, we're just singers. They don't think nothing could come out from that. But I want to let you guys know that musicians are doing big things today. I'm a musician. They are doing big things today.
Yes,
But you
yes,
see,
yes, yes.
but you see, one thing that helped me over was I at some point I had to look inward. And what I mean inward, I had to start looking people that were my fellow choristers in choir. My head of HR today is a lead worshiper in my church Elevation. My head of operations today is my friend. He's also a member of Elevation. We're in choir together. We sing. My partner today, we still sing in choir together. He's a keyboardist, And my other partner, co-founder, is the lead drummer. The lead drummer. We
Whoa,
started looking,
whoa.
we started looking inward, and we built a team that we now became friends. We bonded, and we are now running with vision. The next challenge we had in the business is market penetration. At some point, what do we need to do? So you see one bus, two. Today we are over 80 buses in Lagos State. And
Whoa,
then
80.
80, yeah. You're now saying, oh, how do you move from one? But all the things I learned from Keke business also helped me because of trust.
Yes, yes, yes,
You
yes,
understand?
yes.
So again, I always tell people this also. One, two things that will make you excel in this life is one, integrity and trust. Integrity and trust. I have built with people over time in
Integrity and trust.
business. Yes, that I've built with two people that has given me goodwill. So when I tell people bring 100 million, bring 30 million, bring 50 million, put into this business, people run into it. People want to put their money in because of the relationship we've had in the past. So and when I tell people Go and buy a bus and put on the system. People were running to buy a bus. As a last week alone, people see onboarded were buying brand new buses. They were bringing into the system. Abuja, we have gotten 10 coastal buses already. We want to use to launch Abuja already. People are buying buses without even pushing them. Somebody has gone to buy a luxurious bus just to come and put on the stage. Just called me last week that I have a luxurious bus. I want to put it on the platform. That is the goodwill I have built with people over time, and that is helping me. I always tell people, if you fail with little things, it's going to affect your future. Because what that means is that if somebody collected 1,000, you tell the person I will give you back, and you don't give him back. Next, when you meet that person later on, the person will not give you 10 million, and the person will not recommend you. So it's important you build trust and integrity, while you are relating with people.
Okay, yeah. Okay. We're running out of time, but I want to pick up some things before your closing thoughts. Okay, for those of you that joined late, these are 3 things I picked out, from his session. He started low. He started after he left his work as a keke, what do you call it now? Keke businessman. From one keke napper. So the people that look at him like, this man that was big up there in the bank, why is he doing keke business?
Yeah.
Life, I will always say, no shame. From white collar job to keke, like it doesn't add up. But guess what? That knowledge helped him with his plenty waka business. Now see all the buses on the road, plenty waka. He has a history. He has where it's coming for him. He was doing keke at some point in time. That's one of the things I picked. So don't look at the dirty job. I always tell people, don't look at the dirty job. Without that dirty job, you can get number 1 experience. Number 2, you can also, get that help that you need. And then I know you got 1 or 2 connections from even doing that keke business. There are some people you will know, but some people that is helping your current network right now from keke business. I can tell you that. So another thing. Okay, you wanted to say something on that?
Yeah. So again, yes, what you just said now, from the keke business, I met some angel investors that I have not even met in my life. I've not even met these people that were just investing. These investors were investing in money from Calabar, from. I've never met them. So when we expanded to 20 Waka, these people have been buying vehicles and putting on the platform. On the I've never met these people. We just talk on phone. Sometimes we just talk on video call, and I just see them. I have never met the one-on-one. So that is the goodwill I'm trying to tell people to build also.
So it takes us to the integrity and trust. If you want to do business, people have to trust you. People have to trust you, because business is all about exchange. So if I don't trust you, I will not exchange anything with you, because I will not trust that business that you're doing. That is just the facts of life. So integrity and trust, very, very important if you want to go into business. Another thing I picked out is he formed the team. So I can see Wale wrote noted integrity and trust, and Christian can say team synergy and partnership. Wale also wrote power of building team and partnership. So he formed that partnership in church. So for those of us going to church and they were thinking that we're just going to church, what are you doing in the church? You know that some people just go to church and come back. They are not in any department. They are not helping them. They are not putting their energy anywhere. He sings in the choir, and I know him as a singer. In fact, the better part of his life, he has been singing. You understand? So the businessman part is we're just finding that out in the past few years. But your Ena has been singing all the time. And I tell you that singing is not waste.
Yeah.
Whatever you have done in church did not waste. So for those of us watching now, what are you doing in the house of God? How are you serving? That's your time and your energy that you are putting to the work of God. It's not wasting. God is tying it up for you. He formed his team from his choir members. And those people must have watched him, for them to also trust him, they would have watched him. We can trust this guy, we can do business with him. To take us back to the trust and integrity.
So can I just add to that?
Okay. Okay,
Can I
I'll
just
say that before I give my final thought.
yeah?
Yes, go ahead, sir.
I just want to advise people is that sometimes when you have a business idea, those that will build business with you are just within your circle, whether be it church, whether be it your compound, be
Yeah.
it your friends, old school friends, they are within your circle. And sometimes I always tell people, don't be too greedy. Everybody, the first staff that I employed in Plenty Waka, all of them have stake in Plenty Waka today. All of them have stake. I give them whether something small, whether it's 0.5 or even 1%, they all have stakes in Plenty Waka today. That is to encourage people. Don't be greedy to keep everything to yourself. And when you are giving stake to people, make sure there are people, it's not to the business, no. There are people that have expertise that they can bring on board that can help your business move from point A to B. Today, you see all my marketing social media campaign. There are people that are driving that because they have stake, they are driving it with passion. There are people that are doing the branding, there are my bloggers, they are my operations team. All these people have a part to play. So when you're also doing business, try as much as possible to ensure that you are not greedy with giving out or releasing a bit of stake
Okay,
to
so
your.
Brian, I will have to cut you short because some people have questions. Let's quickly take like two or three questions before we round up. So
Okay.
Ella is asking, it would be nice to tell viewers how long and that how many years it took you to get to where you are. And then beware, I can't get what she's trying to write. There are people who put in 1 month or 6 months or 1 year or even 2 years and they give up when they give up. So tell them how long did it take to get to where you are,
So
basically.
let me just sum it up like this. I resigned from banking 2010, 2011. So between I started doing agriculture between 2010 and 2013. From 2013 to 2015, my toughest, they are the moments I will never forget, like COVID
Yeah.
19. You understand what I'm trying to say? And from that point, I started Keke business in 2016. And I did Keke business for about 2 years plus. But I just started Plenty Waka now since September last year. Till now, that's about 9 months or something that we have done Plenty Waka right now. So in all of this, there were buckets of bits of years we've actually done or spent in establishing various businesses. But the bottom line for me is the thing that there's a place where there's a waiting. You, you need to wait
Yeah.
and have understanding,
Yeah.
have clarity before you launch out. Don't just launch out because everybody is launching out. Don't copy people because everyone is doing it. Don't say because Joyce Ukosu is doing this, I have to go back. I want to go and do my own waiting room. I'm calling it long suffering room. Don't go and don't go and do
What
things
works for
because
A might not work for B. What
what
works
we're
for A
being
might not work for B.
exactly.
Yeah.
When we started this Plenty Waka business, people are now launching, trying to launch what's it called, the same product. I saw one company launch the same thing we are doing, but they don't understand what we are doing. For us, it's not about making money right now, but for us, it's about solving a need and again having data. That is what we are putting right. But people think, it's about the money. It's about the money. Today, Uber has been there for so many years, but they have not made profit till date. They have not made profit till date. Yeah, they are launching IPOs in the US. They raised over $200 million on their platform. So sometimes you need to come into a place like the Jesus that was sent to us to die for our sins. He came to solve it. All right. So that's what we need to know. But this were the period I spent before in doing all these business I've mentioned.
Mhm. Okay, thank you so much. Ella made me laugh. Yeah, she said long suffering room. You know, you said long suffering room. So it looks like you want to start long suffering room. Very, very funny. So she said something about steak. That when you say steak, please, if you have your question, put it now because we're running on the next 5 minutes. She said steak. What do you mean by steak? I understand, but not everybody can understand. So when you say your fact, you gave your fact steak. Let us understand.
So when I mean steak, for you to set up a company, the company is worth, so in Nigeria, CAC today is worth 1 million shares. 1 million shares, all right? So out of the stake is like shares you now give to your staff. Say, okay, oh, come into this business. Oh, I know you're not bringing money, but based on what you know, come use your expertise so that you can maybe you are good with IT. You will come, you handle IT. Somebody is good with operations, you will come, you handle operations. Somebody is good with marketing, you will come. Instead of you getting people that will be paying from day one, you can now give these people this stake, all right, for them to now bring their own, what's it called, bring their own expertise on board to now take off from the beginning. So stake is actually shares, shares that you give to your staff.
So they are part owners, no matter
Yeah,
how small.
they become part owner of the
When we are
business.
sharing,
Exactly.
when we are sharing profit, you take this
Yes,
0.5%, right?
exactly, exactly. Yeah,
Okay. Thank you so much, Ryan. If you have any other
with
question
pleasure.
or your thoughts or comment, please drop on the comment below as we close. I have a final thought for you, sir. We have some persons that are watching right now that have been in the waiting room for life. And like I always like using it. The waiting room is a process, it's a place. Before you got to where you are now, you waited for a while. So they have been there, they've lost hope. They don't even know what to do, especially this COVID period. They have severally failed. You see some people, they are serial failures. What's the step they need to take to get out of that dungeon before we go?
So this I'm going
Did you
to.
hear me? Did you hear my question?
Yeah. I did.
Or
I
final
clearly.
question? All right.
I want to tell people this. Don't go into a dungeon whereby you are not even relating with people, right? It's important that when you are struggling um, over certain challenges, the people that you surround yourself with matters a lot. All right. So the people you surround yourselves with matters a lot. When I was going through a period of my trying times, there were people I consistently communicated with. When I have an idea, run your idea by people. I still remember me and what's it called, Elo, a friend called Elo, we were sharing some ideas some few weeks ago. That is how you share ideas. People have ideas today. They say, no, it's my idea. I want to keep it to myself. That is one. Share your ideas with people because you've already established you have hunger. Two, learn how to, even when learn how to fail forward. If you have failed in a thing, don't die there. Don't say, this is failed. You can try another thing. You can go and do more like an espionage or research on what you want to do. Before we, as a company, before we do any product, before we do anything, before even this plenty work came in the step, we have gone online, we have done a research to know those that are even doing it in Nigeria and also those that are doing it around the world. You understand what I'm saying? We have done our research. That is what you need to also do. Immediately we know that a lot of people are not doing it, we delve into it. Logistic by Plenty Worker that we did today. We know that a lot of people were doing logistic by Plenty Worker. We didn't go there to start branding ourselves with logistic. We now created a platform like an aggregating platform where people can now start making money. And we're not getting the traction today by people using our platforms right now. So that is how you need to do. Yes. So it is important that whatever idea you have to also have a mentor that you can always relate with. People just stay and they don't have mentors, they don't have people that they look up to, they don't have people they sell their ideas to. I speak to you today, Plenty Worker today. My pastor My pastor is a director in Plenty Waka, a shareholder in Plenty Waka. And this is a man that I respect so much, and is also a mentor to me. And he also helped us in different ways. I have another pastor friend that is also a shareholder in Plenty Waka that does all the strategy and all of that for us in Plenty Waka today. He designs everything and brand positioning and everything. He designs everything for us. You have to have mentors.
So if you have people like Pastor Godman in your team, plenty Waka must succeed.
Exactly.
No wonder you are flying and flying and flying and flying. So there's another question for you, sir, from Derek. He says, what advice do you have for someone who has capital to start a business but don't know what type of business to go into? Would you rather have them invest their money or partner with someone? What will you advise that person?
I always advise people, the only thing that will kill anybody today, anyone today, is greed. Some of us have made, don't invest in MMM. don't go, don't go invest in Derek. Don't go. So let me tell you something about myself. What I have chosen to do is this: I will not invest in anything that will give me crazy profits. Two, I will not in anything that I don't know the head office of that business. I will not invest in anything. I will not invest in any website that can shut down any day. I don't know how they would.
I share the same principles. I share the same principles with you.
You
Yes,
know,
yes,
I wouldn't
yes, yes.
even invest there. But again, this is what I always tell people: if you have capital to invest, there are a lot of businesses you can invest in. A lot of businesses that you get your get return on your investment, good get return on your investment. But I always advise you, when you have capital to invest, put it in a platform. The return on investment might not be so much, but you are putting that seed in a place waiting for the day that business idea will come, that you cannot put that money in, that you are sure of. But don't rush to go and invest your capital in a business that hasn't been tested. It can kill and mal your whole what's it called, your whole capital for you. So it's very, very important.
Thank you so much. In that note, we are going to end this segment. Thank you so much, bro. A night. We don't have any other. This is a lot for me, a night, especially guessing. Okay, I'm not trying to type something. Let me quickly. Okay, so this is a lot for me, especially getting people to run with you. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So she's sharing like, okay, the people problem. That's what she's trying to say. I
Yeah.
know that one of the biggest problem of every entrepreneur is human resource. That's human beings to get the ones you can run with, the ones that will trust your
Choice.
way. It was quite
Choice.
easy for you, sir, because you found
Choice.
them in church, and
Choice.
you know this church people we can trust them a bit. You wanted to say
Yeah.
something. Let's quickly say that before we run
Okay.
we are out of time.
So
Okay.
I've also made my mistakes in the past. All right. When I started agriculture, I had people, um, but at some point it didn't succeed. All right. I learned from that. When I started Keke, I got people that worked with me as when I was managing Keke. The name of the business then was Ferricon. If you go online on Instagram, if you can go and Google Ferricon, you will see it online. I had people, but two of them ran away. They just disappeared. Didn't see them. It was one of them that stood by me, that is now a co-founder with me in Plenty Waka and also a director in Plenty Waka. You
Wow.
understand what I'm trying to say? So sometimes you might get it wrong. But let me just say this to entrepreneurs and people who are going to and going into and going through trying to, when you are going to business, before you even get people on board, please, I want to plead with you, put have agreements in place and also have an exit plan in place, just in case these people misbehave. You can show them the way out. But sometimes we don't put some of these things in place. That's where we get stuck with people and the business is messed up, and we cannot exit that relationship. No. Before you go, whether it's your wife, even it's your brother or sister, put proper agreement. There has to be stakeholder agreement that has to be put, or shareholders agreement that has to be signed. And when people misbehave, they are shown, you show them the door out of business. So it is important so that at any point in time you are not totally stuck with somebody in the business.
Hey, so you've heard him, even I can see a lot of comments here. Don't invest in business that has not been tested. Yes, that's very true. Ella says it's a big issue, especially in Warri. No, Ella, I want to say something here. It's not only in Warri, Lagos, everywhere in the world. We always have
Everywhere.
human resources. So it's not only Warri. We are fighting that
Yeah.
same battle here in Lagos. Mentorship is key, says Mr. Jerry. Yes, mentorship. You need to have the mentor. You need to. So one of his mentors is his pastor. So definitely with Pastor Godman, no. That thing I cannot work. That guy is brilliant and very, very intelligent. Exit plan, very, very important for your workers as they are coming in. In fact, I learned some things from you today because there are some things I take for granted too. So as they are coming in, let them write that, put that what is it called, agreement together and show them the way out when they are not doing very well. Very, very key. I used to work in an organization that the man used emotion to run the business and he ran the business down. Oh, this person started with
No,
me.
no, 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 no.
No. If you're not bringing value to the table, I'm sorry.
No,
You have to bring
no.
value to the table. Don't just come and
Yes,
occupy
yes,
a seat here.
yes,
You
yes,
understand?
yes.
So Ella
What are
is
you
saying
bringing
something that
upon?
Lagos got smart people. Ella and Lagos are worried. There are still smart people in worry. Are you saying there's no smart person in worry? They are smart. They are still smart.
Are we? Well, we,
Getting that right person, I think is a
we
problem for
live
every
the
entrepreneur. Yes,
but we
Ella,
live
you
in
were saying
worry.
something.
We lived in worry and Ugeli too. Now we lived in worry. We lived in Ugeli too.
Yes, we lived
So
in those
the thing,
places.
yeah. So again, again the way God, the way people are designed. In every ecosystem, you have the behavioral pattern of the people. When you study people's behavioral pattern, sometimes you now know what you can now give to them. To sell to them at that point. So you need to understand people's behavioral pattern. That is the only way you can know what to sell to them. So if you know people's routine, how they move about, how they do their things, you can now have an idea that you can sell to them. But before you start anything, you must understand people's behavioral pattern. And that was exactly what we studied in Lagos, we knew in Lagos. And today we have launched a product that everybody is rushing at because we have studied their behavioral patterns.
True. Thank you so much, bro. Ena. So, bro,
Pleasure.
Ena Johnny is the co-founder of Plenty Waka. If you live in Lagos, I think they are calling him all over now. I know you were in Delta State for some meeting and then somewhere in the north for another meeting. So I'm sure your app and your ride will be everywhere in the country very soon. And I pray
Yeah.
that God will continue to make you succeed in all you do. And value
Amen.
because your Plenty Waka is creating jobs. It's solving problems.
Yeah.
You lose something in the box, you get your thing back. I saw somebody lost the phone or so different thing. They leave it in the box and they get it back. And you can't do that with the yellow boxes. You can't do that with the
Yeah.
normal transport system. You
Yeah.
won't find your stuff back. So it's a big problem you're trying to solve. Insecurity problem because of course with your app, you already know the kind of vehicle that person took. So that whole kidnap and all that, you're solving multiple issues with this particular product. So,
Yeah.
so I want to advise anybody going into business, solve a problem. You'll be in business.
Yeah.
Look for a problem to solve.
To solve.
Look for a
Yeah.
problem to solve. If you're selling pure water, you're not solving a problem. If you're
That's a
selling provision, you're not solving a problem. You understand?
no.
Maybe it's your hobby, maybe you just want to get out of
Yeah.
the house. Sit down, look deep within you. Look deep. If you talk to God, if you have a relationship with God, talk to Him. He will tell you what to
Mm-hmm.
do. He will tell you what to
Mm-hmm.
do. And then you need to solve a problem. Don't look at the money. Whenever I
Yeah.
start any new venture, I really don't look at the money. The money will come
Yeah.
later.
Yeah.
The
But
money will
solving.
come eventually. Let's solve a problem. That's what you put at the back of your mind whenever you
Yeah.
want to go into anything. They don't calculate profit yet. Because if you calculate profit, you run out. You understand? So if you're trying to solve a problem and you have this mind to help, because it's out of passion. You know, for you to discover a problem, it's passion for people. It's passion for people. What do I do to save people? What do I do to help the human race? That's when you not
Yeah.
start discovering a problem. You know, and from that problem, that's when the money starts coming. Not now, because
Yeah.
if you say in
Yeah.
1 month you start calculating, you run out of that business. Solving
Yeah.
problems gives you staying power.
Yeah.
Very, very important. For you to be an entrepreneur, you need to have staying power. What is staying power? Even if you've not started making money, I will still stay with
Yeah.
this business.
Yeah.
Let's still push it. Let's still push it. You know, that's the problem of this generation. That's staying power. Impatience. They don't have that. So for you to have, you know, for you to be a good entrepreneur that wants to stand the test of time, staying power is key. And it's only when you're solving a problem that you have staying power, because your passion for people and your passion for what
Agree.
you're doing will make you want to stay. Our Father
I
and God,
agree.
we thank you for this
Yeah.
edition of the waiting room.
Thank you, Lord.
Thank you for using your son, oh God, to speak to us this evening, oh God.
Thank you.
Even as we have learned from you, oh God, we ask, oh God, that you move our lives daily forward in the name of the Lord Jesus. Thank you because
Amen.
all that we have heard today will not be wasted. Thank you because testimonies will come out of it. We give you all the glory, we give you all the praise. In Jesus' mighty name we pray with thanksgiving.
Amen.
Our week will
Amen.
be blessed. I decree and declare this week is blessed for you. Anything you
Amen.
touch will turn to gold. In the name of the Lord Jesus, we will not die, we will live. In the name of the Lord Jesus. Father, thank you because we have a productive week. In Jesus' mighty name we pray with thanksgiving.
Amen.
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 Lord is saying
Amen.
that yes, Jack Ma stated started solving problem. Yes. For you to do anything in business, you have to solve a problem. Thank you so much, brother Aina, Johnny,
Thank you. It's a
nobody
pleasure.
at
Pleasure.
Aina, one of Aina, is it Johnny Aina
Johnny and Artisan.
Johnny Aina, okay, on
Yeah.
Instagram, Johnny Aina, please follow him. He does a lot of stuff. Connect with him. For those of you looking for where to put your money, they do this angel investor stuff. You can put your money there. That's the guaranteed way. They're trustworthy. They get your money. You get your money back as and when due. If you are still thinking of what to do with your funds and you have cash, please contact him directly at Johnny Aina, and then he will tell you what to do. Thank you so much for joining the way to Berna.
Thank you.
Thank you
All
so
right.
much
Bye.
for
Yeah.
sharing your
Bye.
time with us. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
everyone.
Thank you.
Follow me too. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Joyful Go to Success Channel. Every episode of the waiting room is there. You find them from episode 1. So this is the 18th episode. Thank you so much for joining in. God bless you. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Johnny. Thank you. I appreciate you.